From the heart of City Hall West, it's El Monte Tonight with your host, Arturo Esperanza, co-host Sonia Cornell. Tonight's guests are Roger Hernandez, State Assemblyman, Guillermo Bartello, and special musical guest, Ray Ponson. And I'm Sheila Morgan. Go ahead, Ray.
Manager and brought all this luscious food, and you'll get a chance to see it because we're going to be doing a public broadcast announcement for him coming up really soon. And of course, we have, and this man I've been waiting like forever to get on here. And let me tell you, great gentleman, all around good guy, great public servant. Let's hear it for Assemblyman Roger Hernandez, please. Well, I'll tell you, Assemblyman, it's been a long time coming. And and you did such a great job. I first had a great opportunity to interview the Assemblyman at one of these fantastic health fairs you had at, was it Baldwin Park, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baldwin Park.
And he did a fabulous job. It was a great event. There were a lot of people walking away with such great information. And so I'm going to start the ball rolling. You know, we had certain questions that we were going to be asking, but I'm just always fascinated what leads a person to want to sacrifice their life and contribute to the public good like you did. What got you started? What was the motivating factor?
I was really fortunate. I had good mentors in my life, both my parents, my grandparents, but also I was at a very young age. There was a local school principal who was the mother of a good friend of mine. She was Latina. It was actually had started her adult life as a nun, and she served as a nun for 9 years, but decided she actually wanted to have a life as a mother, and she wanted to pursue education. And she was an administrator by the time I met her, probably about 30 years into her career. She took me under her wing. She reached out to me and said, "Mijo, what are you doing after high school?" And I told her I was very much interested in psychology and working with people. I wanted to help folks and of all backgrounds. And she encouraged me to come work at her school site. There was a nonprofit organization that was setting shop there to help at-risk students, at-risk youth. And she thought I would be a good candidate for that post. And I gave me the opportunity to see services and resources being provided to the kids that needed it the most, the kids that are the most vulnerable. And I saw the impact in changing lives in a positive way. And from there, my political itch started to itch. And so,
I've never heard it put that way, a political itch. I've heard of a 7-year itch, but political itch. Round of applause for this young man, please.
thank you.
That's quite a commitment. That's an awesome kind of thing. So real quickly, where'd you go to school?
Well, I started my elementary education here in the El Monte School District.
Beautiful.
Monte City School District, K through 6th grade. So I attended Shropshire Elementary, K through 3rd, and then to Rio Vista Elementary from 4th to 6th grade. By the time I was about 11 years of age, my family didn't move too far from El Monte, just one city over in the city of West Covina. And that's where I finished my education there, in the Roland Unified School District, La Puente, West Covina communities there. Ultimately, I was a community college student, and I attended both the Rio Hondo Community College here, it serves El Monte, and also Citrus Community College, trying to get my classes in for the transfer. And I ultimately ended up at UC Riverside, where I earned a degree in political science. And that was a real empowering time in my life.
Amazing. And we're very, like people know on our channel, we're very pro-education. And for you to do that, that's a great inspirational tool for our community and for the young people out there to know. See, I'm very blessed because I have about three of my interns are former students of mine. From Mountain View and Arroyo and from various schools. We got a young man here from Rosemead High School.
That's great.
Jeffrey that works on the camera. So we have we have real wonderful people here and they're participating. So I think it's very, very highly motivating that they can see a nice gentleman like you, but a guy that could have been your next door neighbor move on to do all these wonderful things. It's beautiful.
Yes.
I tell you, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Now, I know Sonia, thank you. Let's do a round of applause for Sonia because she's filling in today.
Thank you.
And she's been doing a real great job. She was coaching Sheila, so now you know who to blame. But I know you got a couple of questions.
I do. Can you briefly give us an overview on what an assembly member does for his district?
Well, that's a very good question. When I tell people I work for work in the assembly, they're always saying, "What kind of products are you moving down the assembly line?" And in fact, that's understandable because not too many people are aware of what happens in the California legislature or what a legislature does. I'll liken it to your local city council, where we elect people locally in the city council to make local laws. For here in the city of El Monte, we elect the mayor and 4 other city council members to make laws and policies for a city. Well, a state assembly member, we make laws for the people of California, for the state of California. We are responsible for managing the people's checkbook, the budget. As tax dollars come in from property, from sales tax revenue, and other fees, we collect those resources, and then it's our job to put a budget together and make sure that we're spending the people's tax dollars responsibly. And I can tell you, our focus has always been very much in our priority in making sure that education is funded. That's why the lion's share of our budget goes to education. So our job is, 1, making sure that we're paying the people's bills and keeping people working, and also pushing legislation that will help enhance the quality of life for Californians.
It's
That's
wonderful.
what we do.
Fantastic. Let's hear for this.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm all for more money. Thank you. And we just love that, man. You know what? It's really remarkable that you have that time to do that. Now, you're talking about the budget. I just got to ask this question.
Sure.
It's gotten better, hasn't it, than it was?
It has gotten better. Obviously, we all know, unfortunately, all too well that the 2008 Great Recession was a very painful experience for all of Californians. And unfortunately, communities like El Monte, communities where we have great Latino and African American populations, really took the impact the worst. We saw a lot of services cut,
Right.
Particularly the people that are most vulnerable, students, are elderly, and people that have disabilities. That's where we cut the most, because that's where the majority of California dollars go to help. Students, our elderly, are those that are disabled. And unfortunately, and when we made reductions so that we can live within our means, we had to make cuts to the people that we seek to help the most. But today, things are better. We have seen our economy rebound. It's almost completely back to where we used to be prior to the recession. As a legislature, we've taken a softer approach in terms of how we restore funding. We're restoring to our school districts, and we're restoring our municipalities and our health and human support services. And what we're also doing is that we're putting a little bit of money away for a rainy day fund, so we're not caught unprepared for the next recession that comes in. Recessions come cyclically, so we know that we have to be ready to do that. And right now we are actually, we're in the black, we're not in the red. When I got in the legislature in 2010, we were $25 billion in the red. And today we're about $3 billion in the black, and we're with a trajectory to be about $6 to $7 billion as a rainy day fund, with restoration having taken place to all the different areas that we fund within the next 2 years. We're projecting to have about a $7 billion reserve as well. So
Beautiful.
We're trying to do it in a thoughtful way.
Well, a lot of people, they don't realize is that California, for a state, has a budget that's bigger than some countries.
Absolutely.
You know,
It's the
yeah.
8th largest economy of the world.
Yes, it is. See, and a lot of times you realize, so when you get a young man like this that's going up there and helping serve the community by establishing, working, making budget recommendations and voting on sort of these things, you have to understand that's no easy task, especially because you have to find a commonality and an agreement level with your colleagues, right?
There's no doubt. While we in the San Gabriel Valley have our San Gabriel Valley pride and we have a San Gabriel Valley way of thinking, there are people from other communities that see things differently. We are very open to our immigrant communities here in the San Gabriel Valley, and we're very proud of it. In some communities, the immigrant doesn't have a lot of respect or treated very fairly. So we're in a country in a state that's very, very diverse, like our country. And so there's a lot of competing ideologies, a lot of competing values and views about the world, and they're all represented in the California legislature. I'm fortunate. I'm one of 80 state assembly members. That means that there's 79 other people that have my job in California. Imagine this, 38 million people in California, and we divide those 38 million people into 80 districts. So I represent approximately 475,000 people, all within here, the East San Gabriel Valley. And because we come from different parts of the state, we do come with different mindsets. And there is a lot of tugging of war that happens on different policy proposals in Sacramento, but that's the lawmaking process. In the committee process, when a legislation is introduced across the desk, as we call it, we then start the vetting process of that legislation. There's conversations, there's agreements, there's disagreements, and ultimately that legislation, if it's successful enough to make it to the legislative floors of both the Assembly and the State Senate, if it's fortunate to get through all those processes, then it ultimately gets to the governor's desk. But it goes through a lot of debate, and many of the times there's a lot of concessions that are made for that legislation, a lot of tweaks and changes because of the different mindsets, the different ideologies that are voting on that proposed legislation.
Well, it turns into a melting pot. You know, give this man a round of applause. That's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
We commend you.
Thank you.
You got another question for us?
I do. I understand you grew up in El Monte.
I sure did. I sure did.
Would you like to share what it is to be an assemblyman for El Monte?
Oh my goodness, it gives me tremendous pride to have grown up here, attended schools here, to start my Little League experience here. My parents met and fell in love here in the city of El Monte. And my grandparents immigrated into El Monte over 60 years ago.
Wow.
So to know that, you know, where it all started, not just for me, my parents, but my grandparents,
Wow.
over 6 decades ago, it really, to me, it's heartwarming. It definitely, it's something that I have a reverence for, because I know that there are a lot of folks that are trying to make it a go here in El Monte that aren't necessarily doing well. A lot of people are still struggling. As the economy has rebounded, it hasn't rebounded for everybody. Mm-hmm. And I know that here in El Monte, there's a lot of hardworking families still trying really hard to make ends meet. I saw that struggle with my grandparents. I saw that struggle with my own parents. So growing up in El Monte, I want to remember those experiences every day when I take votes. And I always try to be very cognizant of the fact that there is a lot of people that are suffering in El Monte and in the state of California. Just because things have rebounded doesn't mean it has happened for everybody. But to be able to represent the communities where I grew up, to me, is very, 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 very special. I never thought as a child, riding my bike in this neighborhood or playing Little League at these parks, that I would one day be the state representative for this region. Never thought that. I remember driving down the street, maybe from our home to grocery shopping or from church to grandma's house, seeing lawn signs for people running for mayor and local city council and thinking, gosh, that's got to be something tough. But even then, as a child, I had no desire to be in politics. Like I said earlier, it was my work in the community, with working with at-risk students and seeing political decisions affecting how kids would benefit or would not benefit from community resources, tax dollars, where I became interested in how our tax dollars can benefit and shape the future for our communities. And it was that experience that really led me to want to serve in a public capacity. I enrolled or filed for office at age 23, and I've been in office ever since. I pretty much, you talked about giving up. Years or part of your life.
Yeah, sacrifice.
It is a sacrifice, but it is also, because my 20s and my 30s were one where I'm an official, and I'm always a representative, and I have to be very careful of how I carry myself, and I have to be very careful of what I say, because I know that people will take what I say as a representative, as representations of my community. So, but I'll tell you, I would never change it for anything or exchange it for anything, because it has always been an honor to be able to do this work. I know that I'm very privileged to be able to represent my communities, and I feel like I have a lot of insight, because again, I know my parents and my grandparents' struggles, and I know what it was like to be able to grow up in this community and to be able to live in the San Gabriel Valley and to see so many variations of households. I know that not everybody's fortunate enough to grow up in a two-parent household. A lot of my friends didn't. A lot of the kids that I work with didn't, and I know that creates challenges. I was very blessed to be able to have that, And so I know that we have to be very open. I know that there's a lot of people that are fighting diabetes in our communities. So that's something we got to be putting our minds together as a community, whether it's city council, working with local school districts, and other business communities to make sure that we're tackling the things that are hurting the health of our communities. And my job as a legislator is to help coalesce that leadership and also make sure that those concerns and those desires for betterment are spoken really loud and clear in our state capital. So it's something I revere.
Well, thank you. As
Amazing.
a native of San Gabriel, I want to thank you
Thank
for
you.
your services.
Yeah,
Thank
see, the
you.
pond is stocked. You know, I grew up in East LA, so go figure. But this is great. This man is great.
Thank you.
I was just thinking, where you got me is when you were talking about being 23 years old, and I want to address the young people out there that you might be a little confused career-wise or whatever. But think about it. Here's a young man, 23 years old, and this guy's going out there and he's representing. Okay, literally. You always talk about represent. He represented, you know, at the top level.
Yes.
So,
Thank
you know,
you.
and this is what's important. So you have to think in terms, he did it, you can do it. Okay?
Yes.
It just takes a good mindset. It just takes attitude, and and here's the key word, focus. You got to focus, okay? Don't get spinning off on like, hey, what are my neighbors doing? What are my friends? I want to hang out with my buddies. Think in terms of the fact that you can do more with your life, okay? And it's going to pay dividends. It pay dividends. I mean, this young man, we're not all going to be state assemblymen, but you can be out there. You can be a teacher or a lawyer. You can be out there serving the community, you know, in many capacities.
That's right.
But this is what you want. This is what you want to achieve. And it's just phenomenal. You're amazing. You're an amazing young man.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
No. Nobody
very
paid me to
fortunate.
say that. Let me tell you. That's
I'm
honest.
very
From
fortunate.
the
I'm
heart.
very fortunate.
No, we're glad were able to make it. In fact, we got some B-roll. How are we doing back there, Isaac? We ready with the B-roll? Okay, let's put it up there. The state assemblyman was at Sherpser, his alma mater, and they just had a mural. What was it? A ribbon cutting
Yes, it was a
Yes.
ribbon cutting. We're dedicating a mural.
ceremony.
Yes.
Yes, from a good friend of ours, Dolores Haro, by the way. If Dolores, you're watching, saying hey. Okay, so let's roll up the B-roll. Let's get a little sound out here and a little visual.
Of our very own Assemblymember Hernandez.
Good morning, students. ¿Cómo están? Qué bueno. It's good to see you all. A little bit of sun in your face? Well, that's good. I hope it brightens up your day. So, does the mural brighten up your day? Good. Cynthia, also for me, congratulations. Really proud of you. Let's give Cynthia a big round of applause. So as many of you know, I was here visiting a few months back, and you all welcomed me. You were all very kind and nice to me and welcoming me back. It felt like a homecoming for me, an opportunity to come back and visit the school that I had a chance to learn and start my learning education, my kindergarten experience, first grade, second grade, third grade. This school only went to third grade when I was a student here. But as you guys can all see, new buildings, the school has grown, like the community's grown. And it's grown with the help and leadership of a lot of the good people that are here today, like our supervisor, Hilda Solis. Let's give her a big round of applause. Thank you, supervisor. And then you also see other leaders from our community, like our school district leaders, the whole members of the Board of Education. They're all here. The leaders of your school district. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. And also, El Monte, the city of El Monte, is represented here. You heard from the councilwoman here, Councilwoman Victoria Martinez. Thank you for being here on behalf of the city. Thank you. And apparently, when you all finish elementary, you're all going to go where? And that's part of the high school district. And there's a leader from the high school district here. Superintendent, I'm sorry, let's see. Board member. Ricardo Padilla, thank you so much. From the trustees in Monte School, High School Districts here with us today. Thank you for being here, Padilla. So I want to make sure, students, that you all understand why I introduced everybody here and give extra credit to them, because the good things that happen in the community don't happen by ourselves. They happen when we all come together, when we support each other. And right now, as you're growing up, when you support one another, when you're kind to one another, you can be more successful as students. And it's super important for me to send you the message that it's important that you work really, really hard, and that you believe that you can do anything you want to do. I remember when I was a kindergarten student right here in that building, right over here in the corner, and I remember when my parents dropped me off, I was crying. I was one of those that was crying when my parents dropped me off. It's like, where are you leaving me? I'm behind these bars here. What's going on here? But I grew to love Shropshire Elementary because I learned to read, to write, to enjoy the arts, and it made a big difference for me, the arts and learning. And because of my experience here at Shropshire, here I am. I'm actually making California laws with the help of all of you. I get to work in Sacramento. I've been a mayor. I've been a professor. I've done a lot of really neat things, but I could not have done it if I didn't focus on my work in school and my studies. And part of doing that was listening to my teachers, listening to my parents, and trying to do the good things that they taught me to do. So that's what you all have in front of you, the opportunity to do really, really well. So I also encourage you to do this. And I hope this mural that Cynthia is the inspiration for, I hope that this mural reminds you every day that you can do whatever you want, you can be whoever you want, because it all starts here. We were all students, and we all became adults. The majority of your life, you're gonna be adults. So really enjoy this time as students and take in as much as you can, because you only get to be a kid. When you think about someone that's lived 70, 80, 90 years, being kids is just a very small portion.
Okay, we figured that out, but you'll get a chance to see it in its entirety, because we had a few other individuals from the community, including the superintendent, our own councilwoman, Vicky Martinez, and of course, the children, who are the stars of the show. And I know the Assemblyman has to rush on off, because he's watching all my students eat all the food, that's why. So, so we want to make sure. But we need to know, and I know Sonia, I gave Sonia this question so she could ask.
Yes, I want to ask you, is there any updates on legislation or events coming up that you would like to share?
Well, I'll tell you right now, we're in a period of time when legislators have come back to Sacramento for this new session, the 2015 session, and lawmakers are formulating all sorts of new ideas, and because we have a legislative deadline in the next week or so to submit our bills, and our bills are proposals for new laws in California. But there's going to be all sorts of laws, whether they're in education, and it'll affect the classroom experience. There'll be some proposals around healthcare. There's going to be proposals around law enforcement, and because of recent news, whether it's been a desire to have more accountability. There's also going to be legislation around individuals being able to make a choice about when it's time for them to make a decision about their life when they have cancer or they have a terminal condition. It's a controversial bill, particularly when I speak about that one, because today in California, the choice to have yourself administered or doctor assisted, basically suicide, is not legal here in California. It is in about 4, if not 6 other states. So the conversation is now going to be taking place in Sacramento, and there's going to be on that issue lots of debate. This is a very Catholic community here. The Catholic Church doesn't support, assisted, deaths like this. So I know that for many of us in the legislature, there's going to be lots of discussion about that one piece of legislation. But I can tell you, there's going to be about 3,000 pieces of legislation introduced. And by the time it all whittles down, there'll probably be maybe 600 to 700 bills that are sent to the governor's desk.
Wow.
But about 3,000 pieces of legislation will go through. So I just kind of gave you a little bit synopsis of some of the bills that are coming through. But there will be lots of pieces of legislation. For example, one of the things that I'm focusing on is making sure that as our school districts are given the restoration of monies that were taken away during the recession, I want to make sure that those dollars are really being spent where they're supposed to be spent, particularly for the English language learners. The governor and the legislature worked on legislation that said that we're going to make sure that we provide the local control funding formula, which means more dollars for students that need more help, English language learners, and where there's poverty. But we're already starting to hear some news that not all districts are using those new dollars in those areas. So I'll be working on some legislation to make sure that we can exact that is happening. So a lot of news to come in, but just gave you a quick little synopsis there.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, let
Appreciate
me,
that.
okay, now I'm gonna, and I hope your field deputy doesn't strangle me, but now I'm gonna throw you a curve.
Okay.
Sunday, who's gonna win?
I think it's going to be the Patriots.
Okay, you heard it from the man himself, so, I just, that's what I'm saying, I'm a Seahawks fan, but that's just me, folks. Hey, I forgot we have somebody representing,
The Rams.
the East Coast, the Rams. He's a
Rams
Ram
coming
fan.
home to LA.
There you go, well, we hope
Vote,
so.
vote, yes, I do.
But that's great. You know what? I really appreciate you coming on the show. We do have a health show.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you.
And maybe if you get a chance sometime in the future, we can schedule that. That's on a Saturday. We do a healthier show, Healthier with You with Wendy. And we also have a women's talk show called Heart and Soul. And I think you'd be a great guest to come on there and
I'd love to.
share with that.
It would be my pleasure.
All right, let's have a round of applause for the Assemblyman. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to throw it back to Mr. Ray Ponson, the master of the horn.
All right. That's right.
That's it.
What's
Okay.
that about?
So, well, don't start him up. This man, let's get going.
Oh.
He'll be coming up right now. Okay, you can switch. Switch us. No, we're ready. I love this. Almost like. a round of applause. Come on. That's great one. Was that the cover band? Cover song? Which cover song? I don't know. When you said you might throw us a cover song in there.
No, this is a song I wrote to my daughter.
Oh, that's a beautiful song, man. Very nice.
I wrote that before she was born.
What's the name of it?
Giovanna.
Giovanna.
In fact,
Beautiful name.
I'm playing on Giovanna's horn.
Oh, Gio.
This horn was made for her. It's handmade, made to her specifications.
Oh, okay.
And
So she plays the horn too?
she used to play the horn, but maybe someday.
That's not the one. That's not the one that was on my show, was it? Back when?
No.
'Cause I know you had another.
I have some other Colicchio trumpets. This is made by Dominic Colicchio. Actually, it was the Colicchio company, but it was all. She designed the horn. It was all her specifications, everything that she wanted, and it took about 5 months to get this horn made for her. And it's, by the way, it's the only horn that I know. All trumpets are made. There's bad notes on the trumpets, and this horn is perfectly in tune. So sometimes it's difficult to play because you want to change things to put things in tune, but with this horn you don't have to. The horn it came in tune. So it's a great horn. And I do have to say one thing about the question you asked earlier. The Brady Bunch will take the Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, so much for Ray Ponson's fantasies. Okay, let's move on. It's fantasy football here.
If they find a way to cheat, they just might.
Oh, look at this one, boy. Controversy.
Don't get me started about L.A.
Don't turn it into the Ray Ponson show, please.
Right?
Okay, we have this young man. So a round of applause for this young man right here. We got him in here finally. Come on, don't be shy. And this is Guillermo Botello, right? Okay, I want to make sure I got it right, because Sheila's throwing me some curves out there, man. She's trying to lip sync it out there, you know? And I got to change glasses when I read, and I want to read the address, because that's what happens when you get old, right? So don't ever get old. Just be like Sonia, stay young forever. Okay, and you guys are located, let me see, here's the address. You are at 11740 East Valley Boulevard, so you're our neighbors practically, right?
Yeah.
Right up the block.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, you guys are great, and they're our sponsor, actually. They're one of our sponsors, and you guys have a lot of great food. I remember.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
They took over. For the people that know that, what restaurant was that before? That was
used to be Pepe's.
Pepe's. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
See, and they took it over and did a bang up job.
Thank you.
Seriously. I mean, and gee, it's amazing. I mean, do you think you'd ever want to book somebody like a Ray Ponson in there to perform and entertain your
Exactly.
guests?
Right? I'm thinking about it now after seeing him today.
Yeah, no, he's good. Yeah,
He's really
okay.
good.
Okay, well, I'll make sure that we keep him, on his meds or something, and that way he's okay, so he doesn't keep going on and on. But so tell us a little bit about it, because you actually manage several restaurants, right?
Yeah, we have the company. It's all family owned.
Okay.
But there was started off with 12 brothers. They all pretty much have something to do with the restaurant business. There's over 22 pescadores now.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're expanding really quick. There's the family. It's a lot of people think it's a chain, but it's not really a chain. It's all family owned, all individually owned.
Like a family franchise.
Yeah,
each one
family
gets-
franchise.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man.
So Raul, which is the owner of the one here in El Monte, he's
Uh-huh.
also the owner of the Pescador in Southgate.
Oh, okay.
And all his uncles own the other one. There's some of his.
Well,
cousins.
I saw you have one in Pico Rivera too, as well.
Yeah,
right?
Pico Rivera. Yeah, he's
I think my son goes to that one. I think he told me about it before.
he's the owner there too. Actually, he just sold it to his brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that must have been an easy
Recently.
job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let me just get to my brother. Go ahead. Let's give him, But that's great. So, how long you been at this?
I started working with the family since I was 17.
Wow.
Yeah. Started from the bottom. Started off first few months as a busboy, then moved to waiter, and then now general manager of here in El Monte.
Wow, that's rough, man. Coming up that, I know, that's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
But it's been, I enjoyed every step of the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
And the city, never been to El Monte. So about last year, started working on the restaurant. It was never been nothing but great to us.
Oh, I'm
Helping
sure they
us out
have.
with everything, yeah.
I'm sure
We
that
also,
it's a great city. It's a
Yeah,
great city.
yeah, it's a city on the rise. Yeah, which is really good. You see progression everywhere around here.
Okay, let's give this man a round of applause, man. Okay. That's good, man. See, this once again in the theme of our show, there's another self-made individual that has worked up the ranks, did not, just let everything slide by, took care of business and handled it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got anything to ask, Sonia? I know you're thinking of something.
Tell us a little bit more about the restaurant. Do you guys have happy hour? Do you guys have, on the weekends, do you guys have any type of entertainment or something you guys are going to do or don't you do?
Yeah, of course.
I must warn you, she's a promoter. I gotta warn you. Okay?
We have happy hour from 11 to 6, Monday through Friday. We also have a live mariachi on Fridays from 7 to 9.
Good to know.
And on Sundays from 1 to 4.
Nice.
And we also have karaoke,
Oh.
which is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Who doesn't like
And that's
karaoke?
in the bar. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right after. Usually Friday, the really good day because we have mariachi from 7 to 9. And then right at 9 o'clock we start karaoke in the bar. And it goes till 1 in the morning.
So do you guys have dancing or is it more?
We don't have
They
a
have the
dance
space,
floor.
yeah, I was gonna say.
But we have space. You're more than welcome to dance,
Oh.
A lot of people love singing,
No, he meant that for you personally. Dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Just have somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're also looking forward to talking about the Super Bowl coming
Right.
up this Sunday. Yeah. So we have a few raffles and giveaways on this Sunday.
Cool.
During the game. Halftime we'll have a giveaway. And then also, of course, Valentine's Day coming up.
Yes, definitely,
Valentine's Day weekend. Have everything there. Looking to create a little Valentine's Day menu, so
Well, I
working
tell
on
you,
that
you should
right
get,
now.
where's Ray Ponson? Oh, he's,
Alright.
okay. Hey, Ray, he wants to hire you, man.
Yeah.
See?
You come down to karaoke tonight so I can hear his voice again. All right?
No, you gotta hear, this man's a trumpeter. I mean, tell you, he's got a great voice, don't get me wrong, especially when he's not putting food in it. But, but seriously, he's a great trumpeter and composer. And like I said, he's got a following. He's got a following. And you can have
I was really impressed with it.
you could have a
It was
real
really
cool
good.
jazz kind of night for this man. Let me tell you. A little bit of jazz, Latin jazz kind of thing going.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Something
he
a
writes
little
all this
different
stuff.
in there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Variety is
break it-
always best.
And that's what I'm saying. We can get stuff. And this woman can pack a house. And I won't mention it's one of your competitors, but this woman can pack a house. And she really did. I mean, let's put it this way. I didn't see that cash register close all night.
Oh, nice.
And just
So I was asking if you had a nightclub
see,
thing. because
yeah,
we could bring it.
yeah, she will
We can
too.
bring the people. You want a booming business, but
See,
and
and
we
it,
turned a local place around here upside down, right?
yep, they sure did. And we got the footage to prove it. And then she can always bring her partner Sheila to announce.
There you go. There you go.
That's our,
Yeah, she can always
she is
mispronounce it.
our MC.
There it is. Yes.
It might be it.
Yeah, master of changes. So, yeah, but no, we like to have fun. What'd you think of the Assemblyman? Pretty cool guy.
He
Huh?
was a real cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good to hear a story about born here, raised here, how his family fell in love. It was really good.
That was really
It was really.
Well, that's why I like to bring people in touch, especially your business owners and business people from the community. Like my friend Nally, who was here but couldn't stick around, because you need all the support you can get, and a young man like that's got a vision.
Yeah.
See, and and a little bit of juice as a state assemblyman. Trust me, So
Good to
he-
know, right?
Yeah,
To
exactly.
rub shoulders with them.
Yeah, see, and that's part of our focus here on Channel 3, man, on Monte TV, Lion Vision.
The community, like I said, has been great to us. We actually just recently, Christmas, a few weeks, I think December 9th, 10th, we had the toy drive for the El Monte Police Department.
Oh, okay, you were helping our
Yeah,
PD here, yeah.
We raised over 100 toys.
Oh,
for
beautiful,
kids, yeah.
beautiful.
It was a really fun night.
Yeah, I'm sure it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, well, that's good, man. Well, you keep in touch with that. You'll make sure you have no crime around your place.
Right?
And just to remind people, we do not endorse drinking and driving, folks. Okay, so, be safe, be smart, take a cab.
Exactly.
Go to Uber or whatever it's called. Find out what's happening.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
plenty
yeah.
of taxi cars at the restaurant over.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
so we want to just say that, how that goes.
Put that out there.
So what's the future? Are you guys gonna,
The future,
expand or?
expanding. I mean, we have one opening recently in West Covina. Should be open in the next I would say 4 months.
You're making Sonia happy.
Oh, yeah, that's around the corner from my house.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
We just want to make Sonia happy. This is the Make Sonia Happy show. So
Wow.
that's what it
Then
is.
feed me.
That's the idea.
I want some of that food. I can smell it. It smells delicious.
I know.
Thank
Is
Is
your part?
it? We'll be there.
We'll be there. That's
Come
what,
visit us. We're right around the corner.
well, that's what we're saying. We'd like to go down there, and if you're open to it, we do this from time to time. We go out in the community and shoot one of our shows at a restaurant.
Yeah, of course.
So we bring, we can bring in the talent. And basically, just what we do here, and then we do bring in a guest and interview you
I'll be
again.
more than happy to.
I think we'd have a good time.
That
And
way you guys just don't get the food, you get the environment as well.
yeah, well, they love that. People love that, especially when they're eating, they're watching it, and they say, "Wow, we're on TV."
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to.
No, that'd be great, because it's just fantastic. I mean, it's great what you're doing. I mean, it's helping the community because El Monte is a great place to live, work, and play. We are the Bel Air of the San Gabriel Valley. Just want to put that in there. Thank you. You know that. And a lot in part to our city council and our mayor here, because they really pitch in, and they were at several events we had.
Yeah.
And the one was the Assemblyman was at Shirpser Elementary. And then we also had the opening of the ACE project. And what that is that underpass that goes under the train tracks. It's part of the Alameda corridor coming all the way from like downtown LA, coming through east project. And our councilwoman, Norma Macias, was ramrodding that one down and had it, it took them several years, but they finished it and they just released it last Friday. So I was very blessed to be able to film that. So we had a lot of things. I mean, like you said,
There's also a lot of great
it's a
events.
city on the rise.
We catered for when Hinda Solis had her
What her celebration of her
celebration,
of her
yeah.
election.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no.
Also right here around the corner.
Well, she was there. She was there, and she was also at the other event. And we had Congresswoman Grace Napolitano. That's another wonderful person, and she's a very big supporter of our channel. And she was here, but she was also at all of these events, and she's really, really a dynamite lady, man. She's a, how can I say, she is the grand dame of politics. That lady handles it. She handles it, and she really helps the people in the communities, and she's always there. So we're very, very blessed to have a lot of wonderful people like yourself, business, government, and educators in this beautiful community, and wonderful co-host,
Thank you.
and a wonderful announcer. Look at it. I love her laugh. It was funny. And a great staff. So, what's the phone number? They can get a hold of the restaurant, make a reservation or whatever, or come on down. Let's give it to us. And a website if you have it.
Reservation would be best to contact me directly. That way you don't have to go through. It will be 562-236-6753.
Okay, sounds good. And is
And
there?
our website is www.elpescadodelmonte.com.
Well, that's great. A little round of applause for this young man. He waited so long, and we just blew his whole day. Because we did. He waited so long, but
No, it's okay. I had a great time.
Did you?
Yeah, it
Well,
was
I'm glad.
it
I'm
was
glad.
fun.
We're
It was a
not
lot of
done
fun.
yet. We're supposed to have Ray Ponson back up here, but once again, he's acting like he never ate in his life. So you wait how your
good.
food. You should
That's
use this
good.
man for the commercial. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Hire him, and you'll make your money up on just what he eats. I've seen him. See, and I wouldn't want to be that trumpet after he eats a few of those bites there, man.
He's enjoying the food.
I know. No, this man. Let me tell you, he could be a restaurant connoisseur.
Did you enjoy the food? How was the food?
Great.
Thank you.
So he
One
does.
thing about musicians, let me explain something about musicians.
Uh-huh.
You keep their stomachs full, you keep them happy.
That's every
There you
man.
go, yeah.
And a lot of band, well, let me tell you, a lot
But
of,
that's every
me
man.
too.
no, but a lot of band leaders don't think about that.
Oh,
They don't ever think about that. They don't think about parking, they don't think about feeding the musicians. They're only concerned about having the gig, and that's it.
See, and that's why I have to feed these guys. Because I get him.
keep them happy,
Oh, I
right?
got Augie Roman who comes in here, and this guy I caught him sneaking extra food and put it in his pockets and stuff. We got Gil Stokes. He can smell it across the city. That guy from
He's on his way here now.
I believe it. I believe he'll find his way over here. He goes, "Hey, fool," and he gets all happy. So
I had a band leader get upset with me because I thought about the musicians and feeding them. But you know what? When it came time to eat, he was the first one that got fed.
Yeah.
And he didn't even say thank you.
well, I don't know. Do you have to rush off already, right? Or are you
Yeah,
good to
I have
stay?
to.
Because you're more.
No, you need to hear this next song.
I'll stay for
There
the
it goes. All right, there you go. So let's take it away here. Almighty Tonight.
Let me explain
Let me
something about
finish
this song.
my tagline, please. Okay. Almighty Tonight with Arturo and Sonia tonight. Okay. Take it away, Mr. Ray Ponson. Like I have to tell him.
This next song was not an original of mine. It was written by Steve Winwood. Hold on, bring it back, bro. It was written by Steve Winwood. It reminds me a lot of my mother. I have a 101-year-old mother